The vast majority of products that you might sell are taxable. That means you need to collect and remit sales tax for these products. But before you can do that, you need to get a sales tax license. To get a sales tax license, you can read through your state's or country's website, or if you're in the US, you can read through a resource like TaxJar that has all the information on one page. Resources like these are great, especially for new e-commerce store owners. They provide comprehensive knowledge about a state's tax system. Depending on your state's rules and how much revenue you generate will determine how often you have to pay sales tax. As you get started, it'll likely be yearly, and then as your business becomes more successful, it'll change to quarterly and then monthly. One thing we do need to discuss is Nexus. Nexus is what we use in the US to determine where you owe taxes. If you have Nexus, or a business presence, you need to collect and pay sales tax. Generally speaking, Nexus is determined by an office, retail, or warehouse location, or sometimes by a full-time employee residing in the state. So even if you only have a warehouse in a state, you still have Nexus, which means you have to get a sales tax license and collect and remit those taxes. If this all sounds complicated, that's because it is. And a recent US Supreme Court case will make it even more complicated. If you sell over $100,000 in any state, they can require you to collect and remit sales tax even if you don't have a physical presence. This emerging concept is called economic nexus, and it's still rolling out across the US. So you need to know what nexus is, and you now need to be aware that if you make enough money, you'll likely have to pay state sales tax in other states as well. If this is just all too much to deal with, there's a lot of really good software to help you collect and remit taxes. In addition to sales tax for both online and in-person transactions, you might also have to consider permits for operating a physical retail location, if that's in your business model. You have to know your occupation limit, you might have to get a permit to put a sign out front of your location, and you have to know what your location is zoned for. As an example, I live a few blocks from a historic district. If I opened a retail business down the block, I wouldn't be able to make any changes to the outside of my building without getting approval from the city. Once you have all of your permits and sales tax licenses ready to go, you're just about ready to create your own e-commerce site.